Thanks for joining. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Timer add-on that came included with FileMaker 19. Welcome to Productive Computing. I'm Paul Fisher. The Timer is a very simple JavaScript widget, and this video will bring us full circle as this is the add-on that we used in our fundamentals for using JavaScript add-ons video at the beginning of this series. But in this video, we're going to look very specifically at the timer and its possibilities.
The timer is a JavaScript widget. So it sits on the record with your data, and it allows you to click a button in a web viewer, and it will start the timer, and the timer will update in real time. You can stop it. You can restart it. You can stop it. You can start it, move to the next record. Start this one, move to the next record, start this one, go back to previous records, and they will be running as well. It's a very simple and straightforward add-on. If we go into browse mode and we click on the configurator, so we'll choose timer entry, and we see that we have no fields to select. Well, that is because we need to have those fields on this layout with the timer, because this is a widget style of JavaScript add-on. So we'll grab these three fields and we'll make sure they're on our layout. And now when we go into our configurator, we can choose this layout, and we've met all the requirements. When we click start, time last started will populate, which is a number, and total time will populate. Now, if we look at these, we'll see that time logged is just a data entry field, as to where total time is a calculation that's combining our time logged to our current duration. To further configure this, we can go into settings, and it's here that we have the ability to change the button color. So we can use a color, a word like red, because it's a web viewer, and web viewers can't have a transparent background. We can get the background color to match our current background, which ours is white. So we'll hit save, and now it matches our layout a bit better. To install the timer, we're going to go into layout mode. You may need to reveal your objects pane. Come over and make sure that the add-ons tab is clicked, and then come down to the plus sign at the bottom and click to install add-ons. This will show us our JavaScript add-ons. We will be working with the timer. Over here, it shows us the tables, the layouts, and the scripts that it will add. So we select choose. And now our timer is installed in our database. If we look at our tables, we'll see that it installed a timer table and timer sample data. If we look at our scripts, we'll see that it installed quite a few. If you hold down the Option key on a Mac and the Alt key on Windows, click that turnstile, it'll tighten those right up for you. So public is where things are that we can mess with, and we should just leave things in the private folder alone. Now to set up our timer, we need to click it and drag it onto our layout, but that's not all. We also need to go into our layout and configure it to access the timer sample data or our own data. And we'll also change the name while we're in here. I imagine a common question will be, how do I use this with a relationship? Because if we look at the configurator, it's very specifically saying select the layout upon which the timer will be placed. And earlier I also mentioned that a widget is typically intended to be used on the record with the data it's working with. What I've done is set this up so that each user of my system will have a unique timer for each project. If we go into my schema, I have a project table, and I have added two fields, both text, project name, and user, which I've set to be a global field. In my timer data, which this is also important, this is a copy of my sample data. I copied it, I pasted it, renamed it, and deleted the original table, which matters because if you uninstall an add-on, it will remove tables that it added. And at some point, you may need to uninstall and reinstall this add-on, which is the current upgrade path for these JavaScript add-ons. In my timer data, I added two text fields. One is the project key, which will be my foreign key, and then a user text field, which will also be a key field. And then if we take a look at the relationship, I've linked my project table to my timer data table, and I've created a relationship between my primary key and my project key, and I've connected my two user fields together, and I've selected to create records in this relationship. If we jump over to my timer data layout, which we're not going to use for anything except for our configurator, we see that it has all of my fields in my table on this layout. Now, when we go into the configurator, even though we're currently on the project layout and it says I should select the layout that the timer's on, I've selected the timer data layout, which is doing two things. It's providing the fields to make the selection list that I can pick from, which is then determining what table occurrence I'll need to use in my relationship. Now I see two options here, and that's because it's only showing me the time fields. And down here, it's only the number fields. That's why I only see one, even though there were more fields on that layout. It's also why if you're not seeing your fields at all, you probably forgot to put them on this layout. This could be any layout anywhere. The important part is that the table occurrence matches what we're putting on our project's layout. And if we look at them, we'll see they are using timer data. And by assigning my user to the global field, it'll work fine. The problem that occurs is if I want to change my users, I can run into the situation where what's happening in my web viewer is out of sync with what's showing in this relationship. To resolve that, you'll need to do something to reset your web viewer if that relationship changes. Once we have multiple timers running, it won't be long before the question is, how do I see what timers are active? Well, we can do that too. If this field is greater than 0, then the timer is active. So we could make a global calculation field that is set to 0. We'll set the storage to global, and then we'll build a relationship from our timer data. Let's name this timer active. And then we link our time last started with our 0 field. If our time last started is greater, then we're going to show that field. And we build a portal, and we'll put in here the name of our timer, which is that combination field, and total time, which is our calculation field. So it'll actually give us a running total. Now when we go into browse, we can see I only have one active timer, and that's actually to a different user. If I start this timer, well, now we see that there are two different timers running. And if I go to project 3 and I start a timer here, we'll see that we have two timers running on project 3. Now the next question might come up, I only want to show what's available for one user. This could be useful for determining if I have open timers and preventing me from starting a new timer until I've closed the old ones. Without limiting it to a particular user, a manager could see what is going on across the system. You'll notice that if I hover over a field, the calculation will update. These are just some starter ideas. There's a lot more one could do with this, but I hope this is inspiration.
That wraps up our video on the timer add-on, as well as our series on the JavaScript add-ons. I'm going to include a link to a playlist of all the videos below. And don't forget that liking a video is a great way to let us know that we're producing content that you find useful. Also, comments are a great source of feedback. So if you're stumped, if you're inspired, or you have a great idea, feel free to let us know there. I'll also include a link to the Productive Computing University. There is a wealth of information there, and it will add depth to your FileMaker knowledge. So until next time,